everybody, and welcome to the second BoBCast Podcast. My name is Nick, virtually sitting alongside here with Tom, Ryan. We also have Kevin and Mark. Sean cannot be here this week. He's dealing with some other matters, and so we can make fun of him during this whole podcast, and he cannot do anything about it. The big story this week is a story from EA. They've announced a new subscription service that is solely on Xbox One, but it could be a future for gaming. We'll be discussing it from all different points of view, and we'll be debating this topic, and I'm sure we're kind of having differing opinions on that. We're also going to be touching on the topic of early access gaming, the good, the bad, and how it's going to be changing through time. In other news, Google buys Twitch. They now basically have an entire foothold on the entire streaming market, so another monopoly that Google is slowly acquiring. No details have been officially released. I just really hope it doesn't involve Google+. All of this and more on this week's BoBCast Podcast. I fucked it. Damn it, play! There we go.
Jesus, dude.
Move. The production values
I fucked it
are
up.
staggering.
Nice, dude.
Oh yeah.
One on the queue. I'm joining.
Alright guys.
Alright everybody, and again, welcome back to the BoBCast. I gotta beat the audio, shit! Alright, we're gonna finish the BoBCast Podcast. Again, the big story this week is going to be the EA Access. It was actually just a few days ago they announced this, and there's kind of been a lot of differing opinions on it. Real briefly, but first we're going to do kind of the intro with the people here. We have Tom again from last week, but new this week we have Ryan, Mark, and Kevin. Hopefully Kevin's around here somewhere. But Ryan, so tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into computers and gaming and all that wonderful stuff. Mark,
okay,
take note.
So,
No.
I go to school with Sean, begrudgingly, of course, and let's see, how I started gaming was when all of you guys, Nick, Connor's not here, but Nick, Kevin, Tom, all got PCs, and I was left alone, and my
Console, please.
my Xbox. And Mark, you had your gaming laptop, so I was pretty much just all on my lonesome playing some solid Xbox 360.
Yeah, we had
so I just bought PC, built
we
it.
had the LAN parties in my house, and you'd be playing on my 360, and it was all bad.
Yeah, no, I would play, whenever you guys would play Killing Floor, I would play with my laptop because it could handle it. But,
Nice.
yeah, well, and then, Nick pretty much built it for me. Did most
you
of
did
the
a lot
actual
of it.
work.
I mean, you put the integral parts. You put the processor, and I think you screwed the motherboard and all that too. So
I've done a few
It's
things
impressive.
on my own since then. I replaced my cooler after you helped me replace my cooler
Yeah, how'd
the
that
first
go?
time. Well, I did it incorrectly, but it worked, so...
how
does it
did
matter?
you do it incorrectly? Do tell.
Well, didn't I tell you how because I had the H60 and then I bought the H50, and the way that because my back of my case doesn't have a hole to unscrew.
Oh my god! Yeah, I remember
cooler.
putting in that. That's the biggest pain without the open access panel there.
Yeah, so the H60 you screw caps onto the screws from the bottom, but the H50 you're supposed to screw into the bottom. So I had screws coming from the bottom, but I was supposed to screw into the bottom, so I just got rid of all the H50 screws and just used the ones I had in there already and kind of made it fit a little bit.
So was it the cooler that you had? Was that the old cooler? Was that causing the overheating, or was that unrelated after the fact?
Well, right after I got rid of that thing, it was fine, so the thing was just broken.
So the heat. Okay. Gotcha.
Don't buy refurbished coolers, guys.
Refurbish anything sounds like a pretty bad idea, especially with
PC
technology.
parts, no.
It was like $40 on Black Friday, so...
Where'd you get it from? Was that a Microsoft?
Newegg.
Oh, I was gonna say. Microsoft I've had bad experiences with getting the old CPUs. I've had a few Pentium 4s that just don't boot.
Dude, I'm like 1-1 with that.
I think I'm like 4 and 2.
Why have you bought 6 used processors?
Yeah, that's the real
Well,
question.
the thing
here.
is,
Who are you talking to right now?
because
Who do you
it's
think?
I mean, it's just what I do. I have like 5 functioning-ish computers. I don't
Dude, that's
use
really
any of them. I
useful.
use 2 of them.
For the cluster.
That's super
And once,
useful.
once we get a cluster going, just wait. It's gonna be
The
awesome.
Bob cluster.
Oh, wait.
Dude, let's set up a render farm so that we can like actually all make videos.
Well, Pentium 4s have hyperthreading, so
Project
on that
Project
single
it, Nick.
core.
Bookmark
we
that
we
one.
could pull that off. I mean, can you do it like through the grapevine, like through the internet, I should say?
The internet, as it's called.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, you should be able to send it out, farm it out to like your home or something.
Okay. Very sorry, I'm half listening to the scanner in the background.
Oh, that's great, dude.
That's my job. I'm sorry, I have to.
Are you guys kidding me?
Anyway,
two people gaming, someone listening to a scanner.
Well,
It's just
Kevin and I are the only ones actually dedicated to this
gaming,
podcast.
Mark, are you in a game?
I
Because it's
just
not
got
showing
in.
up.
I listened to
in
Origin
that
update, so yeah.
All right, anyways, Mark, tell us about a little bit about yourself and how you got into PC gaming and all that wonderful stuff.
Well, I also go to school with Sean, and
I like how this is all in relation to Sean.
oh, well, he's not here, so anyway, as Ryan said, I started off with a CyberPower laptop back in 2011, I think.
Yeah, I think yeah,
Sounds right.
It's pretty decent. Played with that for a while, and then started slowly accruing parts over a year, I guess. Then finally built it, or a couple years. And then I built my PC finally. It was last summer, right?
Probably.
Sounds
Yes,
right,
last summer. Because you did it like a week after me.
Okay, so yeah, and then since then I've made a few upgrades.
Nice.
Mainly a couple from Tom's old shitty parts that he doesn't want anymore. But
Yeah, dude, real shitty, man.
Speaking of which, I might take you up on that offer for the power supply. That's something I might want to do.
if you want it, because Ryan doesn't want it.
Clearly,
See, guys, I'm telling you, this whole trickle-down computer part theory,
Works. It's for me. I mean,
it works. It works. It's a self-sustaining economy.
sort of. But, whatever.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right, all
and
right.
yeah, that's about it.
Is Kevin here? Do we have Kevin?
He's still here, but he's not.
Looks like
He's not
okay.
here.
So Kevin's a guy. He runs and stuff.
Does things.
He does things. He has a CyberPower PC, desktop pre-built. So he might come in at some point. I've unboxed his computer on my channel that I'm streaming on right now. So a lot of people have always been asking questions about CyberPower. He is an example of one that's still working, and so do I. Anyway, all right. So introductions are done with. Let's kind of start moving on to some of the bigger topics. Again, the big topic: EA has released, or at least announced, their new program. It's called EA Access. It's a subscription-based program, which it's $5 for a month or $30 for an entire year, and you get access to their vault of games. Right now, it's in a beta process and only on Xbox One currently. This involves 4 games at launch. That's FIFA 14, Madden NFL 25, Peggle 2, and Battlefield 4. They claim it's $100 worth of games for $4.99 a month. I mean, it's kind of an interesting thing. I mean, you're going with the subscription-based topic. I don't really know how this is going to work out. They haven't released a hell of a lot of information regarding how everything works, so we'll kind of learn more about this through time. But let's kind of open up. Subscription-based gaming, first of all, coming from EA. Is that something that you want to see? We'll start with Tom.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess like I said, first of all, right now I'm not, like, super against it, just from a cursory glance, especially since they're including, like, sports games. So I know a lot of people just buy sports games every year when the next version comes out. So if you're buying those at full price, $60, you could save some money here paying $30, and at the very least you're getting that. And then, I mean, I guess it sounds almost too good to be true, or like too good to be EA, because you can just kind of pay $30 and get as many games as you want. So I don't know. We'll see. Like, my prediction is that they're gonna start introducing tiers and like make it so $30 gets you the games, but if you do like $50 a year, then you get all the DLC with them as well. And so like they're just gonna start increasing it, and then they're gonna start boxing off content. But whatever.
Because
We'll
let's say right now with the program, it's not just the games in the vault, but you also get to play games first. So you get to experience trials of the new games up to 5 days before the release date. This will start with Madden NFL 15, NHL 15, FIFA 15, NBA Live 15, and Dragon Age Inquisition. So again, with the sports topic, I feel like this can be really heavily catered to the sporting world more than anything. But you get to play it first. And you also get 10% off any DLC for the game that you purchase as well. Although they haven't really said anything about how soon after a game is launched that you'll actually be put in the vault. Because I mean, theoretically, I mean, you pay $30 a month, and if you keep getting like the new Battlefields, for example, like instead of paying $60 for the game, well, yeah, or $30 for a year is what I meant to say.
Oh, okay,
thanks for catching that. But yeah, theoretically, I mean, that doesn't sound like too bad of a deal. I just only see the two problems, which they don't make any note of here, is the DRM, so always online, having to game, which I can imagine would be a very pain. And also, I would imagine after subscription ends, you lose ownership of the game. So it's basically getting rid of ownership and getting rid of your ability to resell games and share games, which I think this might be kind of geared towards. So, Ryan, I know you play a lot of sporting games. Like, is it something that you might be interested in?
Yeah, I remember Tom made the point that a lot of people buy the new Madden or new FIFA or new whatever every single year. And I know me, Mark, and Kevin are roommates, and we all pitched in to buy Madden just so we could play together this year. So instead of paying, I mean, that's only, 1 year, $5 a month, it would be, or $30 for a year, and then we'll never play the game after that. So we would pay $30 for the game all year, or all season, and then get rid of it and get the next one. I think it's way better than buying the whole game. But when you said getting rid of ownership of the game, I mean, I think that makes perfect sense. Honestly, EA standpoint, why would they just give you the game for that? So I can't really blame them for that. But at the same time, it's EA, so I don't trust anything about this whole situation.
Because I was finally pressured into buying premium, which I hate, but at least I went through some ways to get it for cheaper. Pro tip: go through Origin Mexico. Anyway,
is that the cheapest one?
I believe it's the cheapest one. I haven't.
Jim said $20, but maybe that was.
Because I paid $28. I think it was $27.99 for it. So I don't know. Again,
I wish
in
I had
theory,
known that before I bought it.
Again, in theory, all this sounds like a really good idea. And I know a lot of ways they're trying to push it as a Microsoft and EA partnership. Like, this is something that's they're trying to promote. But it came through today, or actually late last night, that with an interview with Game Informer, Sony was asked to join in on this process as well. But, quote, it doesn't represent a good value to the PlayStation gamer. So I feel like there is something else that's going on behind the scenes that they're not saying. Because, I mean, on paper, it sounds like a great deal. But if this isn't a good value according to Sony, there's probably some trick to this. I don't know. I know, Tom, you mentioned earlier that you even think that it might, just because it's competing with the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, so I mean, PlayStation Plus has this, the whole concept is that you can actually get a couple of games free I don't know if it's every month, but it's definitely every couple of months. They have 3 games or whatever that you can just download for free. And then you also, I know, get to play the first hour or so of kind of whatever game you want, I'm pretty sure, and then you get demos and stuff. So I don't know if that was one of the reasons Sony passed on it, or if they legitimately think that if they just don't trust EA. That I'm not sure.
I mean, this is one of those things where it starts becoming subscription inception, because you have this subscription service, and obviously when you have Battlefield 4, you're probably going to get premium to get all the DLC. So you have 2 subscriptions to EA, and then there's one for sporting games too, isn't there? They're what is it called? Season ticket? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there he is. There's Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
It's Kevin.
I did it, guys.
Yay!
How'd you finally unfuck your microphone, man?
The microphone I got working, but the playback is still not correct. I don't know. Fix it later. It's working for now. I'm not going to touch anything. But,
All right. That
Pro
works.
tip, if you buy Astros, be very careful when you plug them in. Might just screw something up like I did. My speakers aren't working now, so I'm going to have to figure that out.
That's a problem.
Headset.
What?
Yeah, right.
That is a large portion of a headset. It's the speakers.
No. The speakers. My Logitech speakers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think what you need actually is a dedicated sound card.
I have one laying around.
I think that was
God.
awesome.
I don't know if it works anymore.
Maybe if I downloaded some more RAM.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely that.
I mean, then sound and RAM, it really often gets stored in the RAM pretty
That's what I
regularly.
always heard.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I mean, the other thing too with consoles too, I mean, not only are you going to have this subscription, you're also going to have the subscription for Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus. There's so many subscriptions now. I mean, especially now with Netflix. I mean, this is kind of the good point to this is gaming going to start turning into the next Netflix in terms of you just kind of, I mean, because GameFly had something similar to this, which I kind of thought of, was like the subscription based where you get a game for so much amount of month and you get to choose whatever.
GameFly is still around.
Yeah.
I figured it was, yeah. I didn't say
My
use.
neighbors have
Yeah,
it.
Murph, they use it.
Interesting.
I never understood why GameFly didn't really catch on. Like, I guess it never really interested me, so maybe that was why. I don't know.
Well, how much is it like a month? Do you have any idea?
Isn't it 15 or so? Or is it more?
Googling it right
I
now.
thought it was
Yeah,
cheaper than that.
PC, how much we got here? Oh, okay. It's just like buying.
Yeah, it doesn't say. You think
I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Any other discussion on that? Well, Kevin, now that you're here, I mean, you play sporting games too. Like, I mean, I don't know if you were listening to this, but how do you feel about the EA Access promotion?
Well, right now it's not worth it. Oh, I don't know. Madden is not worth any amount of money. Ever. It's so bad, and just even comparing it to its brother football game that came out that year that blows it out of the water, I don't know. So Madden should be free. So that's FIFA though. FIFA's a great game. I've only gotten to play that a few times, but that's so much fun. And that has so many people that play it.
Yeah.
Like, way more than Madden because it's worldwide. They sell it all over the world. So if you're a FIFA player and you want to play FIFA every year, they actually turn out quality games every year, then it's probably for you. Like I said, someone said the season pass you guys were talking about, that exists now, and you get early access to the game and such. So that's quality. I mean, that's only $5 a month, and then hey, if you hate the game or it's not different enough from the previous year, you don't have to buy it from there. So that really it's like a $5 trial.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's beneficial there, but I would wait to see what kind of games come out in the database to see if it's ever worth it.
Yeah, because I mean that's still the big question right now. Is just how soon after a game launches does it get put into the vault? Because I mean, if they're offering a 10% discount for new games and DLC, I mean, you would imagine they're still trying to get you to buy games as well, and then of course buy them through EA, so they basically lose no money to brick and mortar stores or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. It's interesting.
GameFly is $20 for the first 2 months if you want 2 games out at a time, and then $22.95 after that. Or if you want 1 game out at a time, it's $10 a month for the first 2, and then $15.95 after that.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's more expensive than what EA is saying right now, at least.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, right now, again, it's only with EA games. So just to kind of a recap, EA Access, you get early access to new and upcoming games up to 5 days in advance. You get to play them. They have certain trials. To quote the FAQ, you'll get to play a title. Where's it at? You'll be able to play one of the game modes for a limited time, while other games you might be able to jump right into the full game. And since you'll be playing the real game, any progress will carry over, and you can pick up where you left off on launch day. So,
I did not notice before. So you can only play certain game types in some of the games.
Well, no, that's the pre-purchase or whatever, the pre-release. So you get basically before the game comes out, it's a pre-release trial. So before
Gotcha.
I think this is even before you buy it. So I don't even think you have to put money down. This thing it's so vague, and that's just my one concern.
I think
with this
that's
whole
deliberate,
thing.
at least at this
Yeah.
point.
I mean, it's so incredibly vague, and of course, it's only on Xbox One right now. There's no word if it'll spread over to the PC market. I imagine. I mean, they have an Origin store. I don't know why they haven't done this, because people would pay money for this. I don't know. Any thoughts on this topic before we move on?
Not really.
I don't think
Alright.
so.
So yeah, that's been fun. The next big topic, especially in the gaming and streaming world, Google has confirmed to buy Twitch for $1 billion. Let me full screen the article. So Twitch right now has kind of become the biggest thing for video game streamers out there. I mean, just recently you had record numbers watching live streaming tournaments on there. I think it was 2 million concurrent people watching the most recent tournament, the international, I think is what it was. So a lot of people. According to Kit Guru, here's their article here. Twitch currently has 50 million active monthly users and 1.1 million active streamers. So that's basically, I mean, Google is just trying to get more things as usual and approaching on whatever they can. Because right now, I mean, we're streaming on YouTube, so YouTube does have live streaming things, including Google+. But it could be that this is fairly difficult to set up at times. I mean, the process to go through and set up streaming on YouTube is really a pain. I'm not going to lie. If you've never tried it, it gets really annoying. So they might be just trying to find a way and working with Twitch to simplify all of their products, including the Google Plus Hangouts, which we tried last week, but it's still kind of goofy and wonky, kind of clunky.
Sean's head was huge.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Sean. Yeah, that's why we switched to Skype, so you don't have to deal with
right.
giant faces of people anymore, because that was kind of freaky. Especially, like, you said you brought it up on your television. It was just 46
Yeah.
inches of Sean's face.
On my Chromecast, oh my god, I had nightmares.
Jesus.
So, Tom, you have a lot of comments about Google.
What do you
so
do? All right. I just don't like to put all my eggs in one basket. That's not so much to ask, right?
That's understandable.
So I just, when Google owns every streaming service on the internet 5 years from now, and you can't do it without bowing down to our Google overlords and reciting your daily Google prayer, then I guess I'll be the one laughing then.
I mean, my
leading
life,
the resistance movement.
I say my life right now is so dependent on Google. Like, it's not even funny. I mean,
Yeah,
on any given
exactly.
day, I'm running. I mean, you have the Android phone. I have like 9 different Gmail accounts for all my different work-related things and fun-related things and YouTube-related things. I mean, I use Google AdSense for advertising, Google AdWord for advertising, Google Analytics. So many things. And they have all of my information imaginable. I mean, Google Maps for navigation. I mean, there probably isn't a time in my life I haven't depended on Google for something in the last, probably 2 or 3 years. So, I mean, how many of you, do you guys watch Twitch? Do you use Twitch? Is that something that you care about, even?
I've watched Twitch before for some of the people I subscribe to on YouTube streaming. I mean,
Same.
that's about it though. I don't regularly venture over there to check out new streamers or anything like that though.
I mean, what do you think about streaming itself? Like, I mean, what do you think about people live streaming? Is that something that I think
it's the, well, I don't know. I don't make videos, but I think it's the lazy, quick way to get views and put up content. That's just my opinion though.
Yeah, I can agree.
So I tend to think of it as the way of the future, because on Twitch, so for example, I just finished up watching the entire DreamHack summer tournament. That's CS, and that was 40 hours at least. Which, granted, a lot of that was just scheduling inconsistencies, but they showed it live, and then on Twitch it just saves. So I didn't watch it live because I was out of town, but you could now go and then watch past broadcasts. So you're still getting after the content is produced, you can still watch it afterwards. Now, obviously, you can't edit it as you're live streaming it, so there's definitely not as much production value going into it. But I don't know, I feel like it's more of a personal, intimate kind of thing where you're actually watching someone play at that moment. And there's especially with a lot of live streamers now, there's there's a dialogue going on usually where they look at the chat, read the chat, people talk to each other, people talk to the streamer. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, right now on Twitch, I just brought up their website. I mean, you have 80,000 people watching people play League of Legends right now. I mean, one thing I will say with Twitch was that I use it a lot for games I'm considering buying. When they're first coming out, I'll typically watch people play on Twitch to see if I like it. So I don't know. It's interesting, and now it's really starting to get integrated with everything. So I don't really know how that's going to work. I mean, you have in the new NVIDIA Shield tablet we talked about last week. I mean, that has direct Twitch integration. You can use the webcam on the tablet, and that can live stream you with the game you're playing. NVIDIA Shadow Play has like the live Twitch feature. So I mean, it's really just a question of how much is Google going to get involved with the actual streaming on Twitch. I guess Twitch just going to become like YouTube, where it has, Google has to have mandatory Google Plus integration and all of that awful thing. So I think that's really just what everyone's biggest fear is.
Yeah, and like Tom said, streaming probably is the way of the future. You look at something like ESPN3.com, that seems to break its viewing records every time there's a new sporting event. Like, every World Cup, every I don't even know what else they really stream there. I only ever watched World Cup. But I think even the College World Series drew like millions of viewers this year. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, people are flocking to streaming. Everyone's got a computer. Everyone's got some sort of mobile device now where they can stream things to it. And, people want their sports, and, other people want to watch their games. So it's just going to keep growing.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think because it is true that most people that have Twitch, they have a YouTube account, and they have their subscribers on both ends, and it might be just a good way to merge the two even. I don't know. This will be interesting. I don't really know where it's going to end up, but we'll see. I have high hopes because, I use both Twitch live streaming and YouTube uploading, and then live streaming on YouTube as well. So if they can make YouTube live streaming easier, that would be fantastic. That's all I ask, because when Storm Chasing, for example, we live stream on YouTube, and YouTube, because you can monetize it, and that's just a great way to do it. While Twitch, you need to have a certain number of subscribers and all this other crazy stuff. So yeah, that's kind of... Anything else you want to talk about that? Streaming in general?
I would like to add one point.
You go for it.
That I love Google Plus, and I hope they add it to Twitch.
I don't know, guys. I kind of fell away from Google Plus because I can't hoo-ah things. So,
well, but let's be real. Battlelog is the greatest social media platform.
Yes.
Now they have Facebook integrations. Every time I win a match, I can just auto send it to Facebook. Like, hey, look,
share it, dude.
How do you know that you won a game?
Because that's what all of my Facebook friends really want to see.
Yeah, everybody would like it and be super impressed with you.
I wish if only they could hoo-ah. If only Facebook can take over Battlelog. And they just merged the hoo-ah signals. Anyway, speaking of Facebook, Facebook is now removing messaging from their main Facebook app, which makes you have to use 2 different apps at the same time if you want to use your typical Facebook features. This article from PC World kind of covers the topics of everything. And it's the company's goal is to make Messenger the best mobile security messenger. It's to avoid any confusion that might arise from having 2 mobile products that do the same thing. So I guess it is a point, why there are 2 apps in the first place. I don't know why they made a second Messenger app. I don't know if it does anything different. I've never used it. I know it has quite a few 100,000 downloads on the Google Plus Store and iOS. So people do use it. And my biggest gripe right now is that this now forces me to use a third Facebook app. Because with work and everything, I use the Page Managers app, which they removed from the Facebook app. So you can do basic things on it, but you have no control, basically, over anything. And now, how many of you have the new Facebook app, first of all? Have you updated to that garbage of an app? I know Tom doesn't even use Facebook, really. So
no.
What's your problem with the newest Facebook app?
Because I know the news feed, it was broken. I don't know if it's fixed anymore. But it doesn't actually show most recent when you say you want to see most recent. And that's kind of always been my biggest problem. So I'm still running this version from October, so the old school one. So I like it very much. It's simple. I don't know. I use Facebook a lot. I'm on it most of my time. So I know Ryan has some mean things to say about the Messenger app. So what do you feel about this, Ryan?
Well, see, this is the thing about... I actually have never once used Messenger app.
Okay.
So your opinion's very valid.
My opinion is that I don't want to download it, so it sucks, and I hate it.
Sucks and I hate it. All right.
There it is.
Wow.
Does anyone use the Messenger app?
I have. I just don't understand why can't it just be one app? Why do you need 2 apps that... it's not the same thing.
I don't know. I know they said somewhere in here it's to do it faster. Like, you supposedly get your messages faster on the app over...
Why can't they just make you get them faster on the Facebook app?
I've never had a problem with it in the first place on
That's
the
what
Facebook
I'm saying.
app.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand.
I kind of wish Sean was here, because now Sean only uses the Messenger
Yeah,
app. He like doesn't even
he's
text
an idiot. It's
anymore.
That's I'm pretty sure that's
Stop
the real
doing that,
solution
John.
here.
You have a text message service.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah. Well, just regards to Sean, I never understood why he doesn't just text. But
Because it was when he went to London and
oh,
That's valid.
some shit. But he's back in America now, so...
I guess, I mean, a lot of people, that's actually a pretty fair point. Like, a lot of people do use Facebook for, like, basically to just send text messages without using your texting. Although, even in this day and age, who still has limited texting per month? But, like, you know, when you're basically trying to avoid it, when you just want to use, or, like, over Wi-Fi, you can send texts, I guess. But except
here's
even
the thing,
now...
a lot of text apps have that anyway now.
Well, I know, that's the thing.
You
Like,
can do
a
that with
lot of
iPhones, and Hangouts has text over Wi-Fi now.
Yep. So, I don't know. Just Facebook being deliberately antagonistic to their customers.
Man,
Oh, you love Facebook. Shut up.
I actually only use the open source anarcho crypto diaspora. Everyone join up. We need members.
Christ.
So apparently Messenger has more than 20 million monthly active users, according to PC World. So I guess the one good thing with the Messenger app is that it can handle internet-based voice calls, voice chat, and you can exchange photos and short videos. So it almost seemed like they're trying to get involved in like things like Snapchat. I think that might be they're trying to get with like the video.
Well, they own Snapchat, don't they?
if
I mean,
anyone
that might be a way to try and integrate it. So
ever sees this, will they please fix it so if you can't open a stupid Snapchat, it goes away after a while?
You can clear your feed now.
You can?
Not on Windows Phone. Not on
Well, that's...
Oh, God.
How do you do it on
That's your first thought
Android?
right
I
there.
don't
It's
even
only a
know.
Windows Phone.
Yeah, that might be actually kind of an issue.
It's an antique.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, the other kind of interesting thing is with this, they Facebook hired the former PayPal president. So I don't know. What do you think? He's going to try and get some payments involved in this as well. I don't know how well that would actually work, but I don't know. I don't know. 'Cause, I mean, clearly they have some idea with this. Like, I to force everyone to try and use this, I feel like they're want to try and do something with it that's different. I don't know. I got nothing really. It's just annoying because it's just and now I mean my battery life sucks as it is at times when I'm running so many apps.
There's just one more app running in the background that you
One
don't
more
want
app that I
running.
ugh.
Oh, I don't.
I don't know. It's just annoying. So yeah, Facebook sucks, but it's free, so I really can't complain. That's kind of my whole thing with this is that it's a free service. I really can't complain. So whatever.
Fuck them.
Well, if they do anything with the PayPal and any sort of payment from Facebook, nobody's going to pay that shit. I mean, some people will, but not a lot.
A lot of people will.
I would, if they asked me for $1 to use Facebook, I would stop using it.
I kind of have
Pablo.
to just for work-related reasons, but I would love
Yeah.
to. I mean, I loved Google Plus. I really did. The idea of it was kind of nice, but it's just no one's on it that I know, and so it's real hard to actually use.
Dude, we're all on it.
I mean, we're on it, and like the things that we would share would be like funny, and it was a good way to do that. But I don't know. There's
Funny,
just
but
nothing
too
else that
offensive
really
to go on
brings me to
Facebook?
it. What?
It's funny stuff, though. It's too offensive to go on Facebook, basically.
It's not even that. It was just like
That's
stupid
pretty true.
shit that we would share with each other. Well, yeah, okay, offensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually never shared on anything on Google Plus. I've never
Yeah.
been on Google Plus. I just have an account because I have to.
Yeah, right.
I think that's like 99% of YouTube. Okay, in other news, this comes from Doom. It's actually an IGN article, too. This is the crazy thing about it. They're actually, like, supporting the... I can't wait to read the comment section and look through these yet. But IGN, this comes from the Doom designer, John Romero. PC is decimating console. So that's, I mean, we kind of already knew that, but a lot of people claim that PC gaming is dying, even though there's so much proof that says otherwise. I don't know. I mean, PC gaming has been going really strong, I'd say, within the last few months anyway. Even like the last, 2 or 3 years, I think it really started picking up in popularity again. This comes after reports, the financial reports for hardware. Anyway, this comes from the John Petty Research. The hardware side of gaming on PC is over twice that of the console gaming hardware market, which is, I mean, that's huge. We're talking this year, $21.5 billion expected in hardware sales for computers. So that's kind of rather crazy. And this comes after Intel released their sales report that they're way ahead of their expectations as well, so Intel is booming. So I guess the question really becomes, we'll go kind of each by person, why did you leave console gaming? I mean, what made the PC gaming master race so appetizing to you? So we'll go down the line, start with Tom.
Well, I guess it was just because I always enjoyed the power, you know? That's what I really sought. No, I guess, I don't know, I wasn't really that big on gaming with a bunch of, like, I mean, you guys all had Xboxes, and I had the PS3 for the longest time. I guess I did get an Xbox sort of towards the end there, which I had for like 6 months before I just got a PC. But I sort of saw it as inevitable. I mean, I was using a MacBook at the time. I still have the original 06 MacBook. It actually still runs pretty fine. But going into a CS program, I knew I would need something more functional and something more, a little bit more powerful. And I figured if I was going to build my own PC, I might as well just kind of go for a gaming rig. So then I just sort of built the first iteration of my computer and used it for gaming, and that was really it. I only have like 2 Xbox games, I think, 2 or 3 that we played. So yeah, I never really was into that.
So yeah, Ryan, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, but you said, I mean, that everyone, at the point you still were on console, everyone else had a PC. So was that kind of your major deciding factor with getting a PC, or was there something else related to that as well?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, I like to play games because with my friends, with talking, just playing games by myself with random kids on the internet, not really gonna do it for me, and I don't play enough single player games for it to be warranted to not do it. So pretty much the only reason I did it was because all you guys, and now I'm fucking glad I did because it's way better. But
because the guy from Doom, I mean, the reason why he says it's dominating or decimating the consoles is because with PC you have free to play and Steam games for $5. PC is decimating consoles just through price. Free to play has killed 100 AAA studios, which I'm not sure. I mean, that's true, but I don't know how I feel about that, because I mean, some of them have been really good studios way back when, but they just haven't really kept up. It's really just Activision has been, anyone they acquire kind of dies a painful death. But related to that, I mean, the price for PC was higher than console. Like, was that something that kind of steered you away? And it's kind of to anyone.
That was kind of just an added bonus, I'd guess.
Okay. I mean, like the extra.
You mean the price of entry?
Yeah, I'm talking about that's what I should have clarified. Like the cost of entry into PC gaming. Like you have to generally, I mean, to get like a decent computer, I mean, $500 is kind of their baseline, and then up from there, which is already over the cost of console gaming. So was price something that worried you or steered you away at first? That's kind of anyone again.
I guess I'll go ahead and take that and say yes. I did not want to spend that much money on a PC and not have really any experience on PC gaming at all. I never played anything. But once I saw, I mean, big thing was because Connor was always on it, so I would talk to him about it pretty regularly. And, it just seemed worth it after a while.
Okay. I mean, PC gaming itself has just been, I mean, there's so many games that are so fairly cheap out there right now. I think that's kind of becoming a big draw. I think a lot of people really start on laptops. I know that's what a lot of people have done, starting on laptops, and they've moved into the gaming on PC. And then the video I have right now is just Ryan building his computer way back in the day. So
when you have something like a gaming PC, you always have to judge it in terms of entertainment. And if you spend $1,000 but then spend 1,000 hours on it, that's going to take you a while. But you get a $1,000 PC, I'm sure you can maintain it pretty well and have it last 1,000 hours.
That's true. I mean, you're also talking to a kind of exceptional group here, at least with like Nick and myself. I mean, we upgrade probably more than we should. I'll say it. It's the first step in recovery. But if my original build would probably have lasted me until now at least. So if you start, especially if you went in with $1,000, I mean, if you went in with $1,000 build, you could still be using it like a lot longer. So
other than some fans, mine's completely original.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's still running strong. I mean, I'll probably have to upgrade something here soon, but not like major. I'm not going to have to spend another $1,000, and that might scare some people away at first. But really, it's manageable if you think about it. And if you think about if you go to the movies, what does that cost? Like $12 now. That's like spending.
Where are you going, dude? I'm paying way more.
Well, I don't even. I haven't been in so long, but that's like $6 an hour.
Yeah.
For entertainment. Even if you bought a Blu-ray, you'd have to watch it like 10 times before you got your $1 an hour entertainment value. With a PC, you're going to approach that much faster.
That's true. And like you also said, I mean, it's incremental. I mean, you don't have to upgrade your rig $1,000 worth every couple of years. It's every couple of years you put in a new part or two new parts, and that's only a couple hundred, if that. Mm-hmm. So you can definitely manage the upgrading and the price in general pretty easily.
I mean, as you mentioned too, they're much more than just gaming. It's really an entertainment device as well. So that's a very good point. I mean, you can do so much more. I mean, from video editing, photo editing. I mean, Tom, you do all your coding and everything. Not all of it, but a lot of it anyway.
I think that's probably why, like, with the PS4 and Xbox One, they added so much entertainment stuff, and like half the presentations and stuff about it when they initially came out were all about the additional stuff besides gaming.
Right.
Because they know PCs, everyone who owns a PC can do all this extra stuff. So they want to keep those people who are thinking about buying a PC maybe just keeping with the Xbox One.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, truthfully right now, there really hasn't been any big games on console that are really worth buying. I mean, I'd say arguably the biggest game on Xbox One has been Titanfall, which was on PC. They're coming out with the Halo Master Chief Collection, which is a big deal to people that have already had an Xbox in their past. I mean, they're really the only people that would care about it. I mean, that's the only reason I want an Xbox One is because of the Master Chief Collection, which is the best. Also, don't do this for thermal paste. Don't. What you're watching right now. Don't do that. Rookie mistake. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The console gaming right now, to me, it's just not something that's worth money having to pay for a console. Because I mean, it's so much better on PC. You get almost all the same games.
I'll kind of agree with you, Nick, but I mean, I can't honestly say that I've completely gone away from console gaming. I love sports games.
Yeah, that's the big point. That's why I wanted you on here.
Those are so much better on consoles. I mean, Madden 25 sucks, and I still play it so much just because I love sports, and Tiger Woods, even racing games, I'd rather have a controller.
Well, yeah, those are definitely...
Use controller on your PC, though.
Yeah, a lot of the things, But I feel like a lot of the game genres you're mentioning are really where the console shines,
Yeah.
Sports games, racing games, like those are traditionally console type
and
stuff.
I still really enjoy playing those games, so I'm not ready to say that I'm giving up on consoles yet. And just the other day, weren't we talking about chipping in to buy a Wii U?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not only were we talking about that, we're definitely doing that.
Yeah. Because Nintendo makes such good games, and you can't get those on PC. I mean, there's still value out there if you like to game and you like to game with people. I mean, there's still value there.
Mm-hmm. I would say. I mean, I think with Wii right now, like at least in Nintendo in general, is that they're still trying to be a console. Like they're doing what they do well. While Sony and Microsoft are trying too hard to be something that I just feel like they can't be.
Yeah.
I mean, because their hardware right now, it can't even play games at 1080p, let alone 60 frames a second at the same time. I mean, Watch Dogs, what 792p on the Xbox One, 900p on PS4. I mean, even they made the remake of Last of Us. It can't even sustain 60 frames per second. And the stupidest thing is I have you can lock it at 30 if you want. Why would anyone do that? The cinematic experience.
It's more cinematic.
God, I hate that debate.
I mean, no,
Duh.
it's not a debate. That's
not even,
we don't need to get into that, but yeah.
Oh,
we
can.
The thing is, like, I don't know. It's just that the consoles really aren't ready for what they claim. I mean, remember when they were launching and then they were like, oh no, these are capable of 4K gaming. Like they're built for 4K. It's like that's not
maybe
gonna
4
happen.
frames per second. 1 frame.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like I don't know.
The thing that really irks me about consoles these days is that, especially with like Sony and Microsoft, I feel like they've really gotten away from making good games.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just watch E3 this last year, they're talking about, or maybe it was 2 years ago now, they're talking about like coming out with TVs and all the other entertainment stuff their consoles can do, and then they spend like minimal time on the games that are coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think a lot of the games are very good or as entertaining as they used to be.
Yep.
Yeah, they're definitely not putting a lot of work into like first party titles and stuff as much.
Yeah.
That's kind of a shame. I mean, like I said, consoles were good for what they did. I mean, they're good for I honestly say, like, children, quite honestly. I mean, that's kind of what they're good for. It's easy to maintain devices that you can just play games on. But PCs themselves, I mean, they're really not that hard to take care of, but people panic. So, I don't know. It's developing this whole PC versus console. It's gotten so much worse over the last few years. And there's really no argument that console has other than, which I can respect, the racing games, which absolutely are horrid on PC, and then sports games, which are well with the console market too.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to hardware real quick. I'm so excited for this. I don't know if you guys have seen this before yet. This was announced, I believe, at the January CES 2014. That was in, I believe, Las Vegas. I think that's where that's at.
Typically,
yeah. So that's the Corsair RGB K70 Cherry MX Red Switch mechanical keyboards. Also, I believe brown and blue switches are coming out with as well later on. But this was supposed to release late July, and I'm still waiting. I want this so badly. It's a full LED backlit keyboard. It has 16.8 million different colors you can create. And it's a lot more than just creating a keyboard, like backlighting the different keys. I mean, you can animate this thing. Also, you've seen this video. This is from Linus Tech Tips, Linus Media Group. I mean, the things you can do with this keyboard, it's just phenomenal. And I want this so badly. So, I mean, every one of us has a...
I was going to ask, who all here has a mechanical keyboard?
Yeah, exactly.
I do not.
I do not.
Okay.
So it's just you and me, Nick?
Oh, I do. I do, Tom.
Oh, you do? Okay.
See, I have one, but I don't actually use it. It's not my primary keyboard anymore.
Because you prefer to type on mashed potatoes?
No, I type my papers on my... I type the papers on the Black Widow, which are the Cherry Blues. But for just gaming, I really prefer the... what is it called? I think the Death Stalker by Razer. That's kind of been what I've been going with for the most part. It's not as loud and obtrusive. That's kind of my big thing. Especially when I was with my roommate in the same dorm room. That was the biggest complaint with it.
Yeah, I wasn't really that upset.
I mean, all right, so just looking at this, I mean, how many of you would be interested in buying this?
I would, absolutely. That thing is sexual.
It is, yeah. It is quality.
Hey, let me look at this thing. Where is it?
I have it on the screen share right now.
I can't look at it. Hold on.
I prefer just gaming, but I hear like audio coming. Oh, you're playing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's something I'm definitely getting. I mean, I don't know what the price point is. There's really no official price point released on this, but the theories are somewhere between 150 and 250.
You're just signing yourself up for that?
I
you just know it's going to happen?
Like I said, I have. I'm hoping if it can stay at 170 or below, that would be ideal for me. That's what I'm really hoping for.
I need those lights.
Isn't it? It's just so awesome. I mean, it's an LED sign, basically, as a keyboard, and you can just program whatever you want to basically do it. And they're releasing the code. It's fully open source, and so they're releasing the code.
All right, sign me up.
Yeah, exactly, right there. It's
Put me
fully
down
open
for
source, and they're giving the code to modders, and they're basically saying, "Here, like, do cool stuff with it." And it comes with it's full software, which is easy to use apparently. So you can do the simple things, real simple, like just backlighting your keyboard a certain color or changing keys to different colors. But of course, you can also animate it. So it's using like a special onboard chip on there to actually allow you to. It is an LED sign chip. So that's kind of cool. I don't know. I'm really excited for this. And again, it was supposed to come late July, but now I'm hearing late August. So we'll see how it actually turns out. The other nice thing, too, is it comes with a removable wrist rest, which is kind of awesome.
Oh, yeah, mine did, too, but it's broken.
How'd that happen, Tom?
No word on how that...
Gotcha.
Did you guys hear about what happened last night? I was pretty upset.
There was a lot of anger in Daisy.
What happened last night?
I was killed by nothing. Or at least respawning debris, and then Kevin...
Had to be something with the items.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Nick was just like... I don't even know what Nick was banking on, but it didn't sound good.
Jeez.
Now, that video will be on this channel tomorrow. It's already edited. And I kind of edited a little bit more than I usually do. It's not just cutting, but I actually put some music and stuff and sound effects into it, so we'll see what happens.
Basically, I done goofed.
Yeah. he spoiler alert, he falls off a scaffolding and kills himself.
Jeez.
He ran off it.
I jumped onto it and...
Yeah. Jumped onto it, huh?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't make a jump in Daisy.
D.
Wow, but you feel like an idiot.
And I guess this whole...
Hop, you don't jump onto stuff.
That is Olympic hurdling.
Fences.
Olympic hurdling. That's what I did.
Why would you do that on a scaffolding?
I did it I was on the roof. I had to. There was a gap.
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
Like I said, I guess this will come into our final topic, which we can discuss is early access or early release games and what we think of them. I know one of the first examples everyone knows of is Minecraft. That was kind of your released as an alpha, and you paid a cheaper price for it from the beginning, got all the updates through time, and didn't have to pay any more for it. But it's really becoming a blossoming market right now is the early access titles. One of the biggest ones right now is Daisy. 2.3 million people have purchased this game so far. Ooh, time lapse. I don't know, early access games, what do you guys think about it? I mean, there's so many different titles out there right now. I know Mark and I, we both play, and Kevin too, finally. We start playing Daisy. But I mean, early access in general, I mean, there's a lot of problems with it. What do you think about it?
I like it if the game isn't released too early.
Mm-hmm.
If it's playable and I can get it at a cheap price, then I'll pick it up. Like I picked up Kerbal Space Program, this game called Door Kickers, and Daisy, and I mean they're all fun for what they are now, and I know they're only going to get more fun when the full game comes out. So I enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what I was saying when we first brought this topic up a little bit. Was basically with Minecraft. I mean, you still had a the term I used was the minimal viable product. So like you could still get into the game, you could still mine things, you could still build a fortress and all that sweet shit. The core of Minecraft, and then as like the development went on, you just got more stuff. Notch just kept adding more things, but it wasn't because like you could still there was still the core there, and you didn't pay for something that was completely broken, really. But increasingly, that's kind of becoming the norm. Like Minecraft, I feel like didn't have that many bugs on release, but nowadays I feel like early access is really just paying to like play test a game almost. Which not so much like, again, not for everything. Like DayZ, I wouldn't necessarily say that because it started out as a mod, and that was free to anyone. and that was, anyone could get it. And then, yeah, there were a lot of bugs and stuff, but it was a mod. It was, just one guy working on this thing for everyone, and then it became its own thing. So, like, if the game itself is actually workable and you kind of just want to get more people involved in it before you try to open it up to the public, you just want to get some feedback from the community or something, like, I could see that. But if you're just trying to get people to pay you so you can basically get free QA, like, that to me just seems kind of stupid.
So I know I feel like what a good point is with this is that games that are released early access that have an actual financial backing and like an actual like bigger name company funding it, that's kind of, I feel safer. Because like with DayZ and then you had the Arma 3, which we're looking at right now, Arma 3, both of these came in and they were released by Bohemia Interactive, which is like an actual game developer. So I feel safer with that. And the Minecraft, I mean, you had so many people buying that. I mean, they had so much money coming into it.
Yeah, but I would almost say, well, I mean, I would say it's kind of the opposite, though. Like, I would argue that the people with more resources would have people, or should have people to, like, test their product. Mm-hmm. I guess, again, it kind of, to me, it just goes back to how much the developers are willing to do a give and take with the people. Like, if as an EA, again, kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, like, if an EA or someone is putting out an early access game and they have the game made, they're just making you pay so you can play it earlier than everyone, like play a buggy build, like, that to me is kind of where it's just them grabbing for money.
Yeah.
But if it's like Notch, where like, or it doesn't matter who it is, but as long as someone's willing to take into consideration the community, the people who are have early access, and say like, oh, this would be really cool, or this needs fixing or tweaking in some aspect, I think that's when it's actually a good system to implement.
I don't know. Mark, I mean, how do you feel? I mean, you play DayZ. I mean, you've seen sometimes it's a glitchy mess. I mean, how do you feel about the actual being part of the DayZ development cycle?
I have thoroughly enjoyed it so far. I know it's going to be buggy, so I don't mind when I get killed by shit. Like, I know you get really pissed off.
I accept it, but I get mad.
Yeah, I know, and I know that you mentioned yesterday, it was a good point, that you lose like content for your channel and stuff if you die, so that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy being part of I enjoy like seeing all the new stuff added in, getting to test it out and stuff. So yeah, I like DayZ. It's like pretty much the only early access game I bought, but yeah.
Okay. I mean, really just all comes down to, I mean, how much you're willing to pay. I mean, do you think $30 was a good price point for DayZ being in an alpha stage?
Considering I don't even know how many hours, well over that. I have so many hours into DayZ, and I'll have many more, so I think it's worth $30.
Yeah, I'm currently at 314 hours on DayZ.
I'm not that high, but
Jesus.
I'll get there.
That's a lot of playing, man.
It's so fun.
Okay.
I don't have that many hours on any game.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you look at like right now, if you go to if you go to Steam Store, if you look at just the home page, go back in here. If we look at like the top sellers, early access. Well, actually not as many as I thought there were going to be. Early access. That's actually, I know there used to be a lot more on here, and like on the top sellers. That's actually kind of interesting. It only looks like 3 on the top sellers right now, in the top 10 anyway. I don't know. It's just a lot of people are seeing it as like a kind of almost like a cash grab at some point. I mean, because the point is, I don't know if with Steam anyway, is there like a thing that they have to finish the game, or can they just drop it and then you're stuck with the state that it's currently in? I mean, there are some real winners out there coming in. I forget what that one game was. It was like,
what's the Survival Stories?
Survivor, yeah.
Yeah, that was the worst game I ever made.
Oh my god, Zombie Survivor Stories, something like that.
Something like that. I know they changed the name to try to get people to buy it.
It was
Infestation? I don't know.
Yeah, that was it. Infestation.
It was
Survivor Stories.
something else before that, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember
the
what
War
original
Z.
was. Yeah, War Z.
Yeah, War
That's
Z,
what it was.
of course.
God, what a piece of garbage that game was.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Wasn't that supposed to be like the biggest competition for DayZ?
Yes, it was. And
And then
Everyone
people
thought
found
so
out it
anyway.
sucked.
then everybody bought it, and they're like, ah, nah.
What was wrong with it? I never played it. Or I don't even know.
I never played it
The
either.
thing
but-
is, they blatantly lied about
yeah, they
so
lied about
many
all
things.
of the features,
Yeah.
basically.
Because it was like 100 players, and it was actually like 20. And they wouldn't. There were no servers that were higher than that. And the map itself, it was like supposedly this big, but it was actually like a tiny little portion of that. And there were just so many features missing that they claim were a part of it. And I can't remember
Right.
what the game is right now. That I hopefully it was taken out by now. It was like flight something. It was like I don't even remember. It was like the most broken game I've ever seen in my entire life. And it was a guy basically doing it, I think, just to get money. It was, it's going to anger me. It's going to bother me that I can't think of this now. Flight, whatever, doesn't matter. So anyway, early access, it has its problems. It's not going away, I don't think, anytime soon, that's for sure. But, I mean, like I said, there have been some really good quality games out there. And it really just depends if you trust the people developing it. So I mean, you have things like Bohemia Interactive. I trusted them. And then you have teams that are actually like committed to these things. For example, The Forest. I think that's one of the other games out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you have them. They seem like they're real committed. Although I don't remember when the last update was for that.
Dude, that's on my wish list, guys.
I have
Looking
that.
for
actually.
a gift. But yeah, no, I mean, that seems like something that could be good. But there too, like the reason I put it on my wish list, I saw some videos of it. I've seen it played like on Twitch, so I know like what I'm getting myself into.
Mhm.
And it
Exactly.
seems like even if they stopped updating tomorrow, I feel like I would still. Now, of course, I don't own it, so it may crash every 5 seconds. But like from what I've seen, like I would still play it in the state it's in, pretty much.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm looking at the top news stories. I mean, the latest patch was on Saturday, and the one before that was the 22nd, which was Tuesday before then. So I mean, it seems like they're pretty consistently keeping up with it, which is good. And it's
Yeah.
an interesting game. This is one of those games where it's actually kind of like a jump scare game. So I'm really kind of excited to pick this up and start playing this more. So I don't know. Other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all the early access I have experience with, anyway. Anything else about early access or anything like that? I think we've pretty much hit about everything.
Yeah.
Does anyone know what's going on with the golf club by any chance? Because I
do
bought
not.
that and I haven't played it in a while.
The golf club?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a new
it's-
golf game.
Is that an early access game?
Yeah, it was
Golf.
30. I bought it for $30, and it's, I don't know, I think it's in beta. It might be an alpha still, I'm not sure. But Tom, you said KB Mod talked about it, and I saw a YouTube
Yeah, they
video.
had a.
You
they had
can
an
create
interview.
you can create your entire course from scratch. It's really cool. Although when I first downloaded it and started playing it, it was really buggy.
Yeah.
And making I made a it took me like 2 hours to make like 2 holes, and
Made the
they were
meadows, right?
garbage. Yeah, I tried to make the meadows. It sucked dick.
Let's see. We have builds note. Looks like a recent build was July 25th, so it looks like they are keeping up with it at least. Although the one before then was June 19th, so that's over a month in between.
It was a huge update.
Could be. I mean, it says the first thing is a lot of updates this week from the new bunker.
Good.
So I don't know. This is kind of. I never even heard of this until you mentioned it. So.
I didn't either.
Well, you guys, don't really like golf, so that makes sense.
I love golf.
I love golf.
I know you
I-
do, Kevin.
I guess one other kind of random topic to kind of touch on that: the simulator world. How many simulators there are in this world? Is that starting to get out of hand?
Yes. Are
Yes.
you kidding me?
Goat Simulator. Do you even need to ask if they're getting out of hand? You bought that
95% of them are
Didn't you buy
garbage.
that?
Goat Simulator is a
I can't
quality
believe you
game.
spent money on that.
Oh, God.
It's pathetic.
See, okay, this is let me defend my purchase of Goat Simulator here. Goat
Okay.
Simulator.
This will be good.
I mean, first of all, they're releasing all their DLC will be free with this, so that's one thing, and it has community created content. So everyone who buys this game through Steam Workshop can release their own updates for like things with it. I don't know, it just seemed like a really funny game to me. I mean, I kind of bought it more so for the comedic factor more than anything, because I
I
mean,
think a lot of people did,
I
dude.
mean, there's no content
That was
besides
fine.
for
Sorry.
laughs.
yeah. I mean, like I said, it's a game to play to kind of just turn your mind off and do literally nothing. I mean, look at this. A Goat Simulator, you can play as a whale. It's a big whale, man.
That's not a goat.
It's not Whale Simulator. It's
That's
bullshit.
shit. You should come up with a new game called Whale Simulator.
Along those lines, how do we feel about movies like Sharknado 2 that are just completely playing off the fact that they suck?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of group them together. Like,
At least they know what they are.
that's the thing. Like, there's dumb fun, and I can totally acknowledge that. But there's also a threshold on my wallet for how much
Yeah, I'm not.
I will pay for dumb fun.
Kevin, what was that movie that we just watched?
Oh my
Shark
god!
Attack.
Two-Headed Shark Attack? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
So good. There was
I
some
mean,
apes-
we're now part of those people, Kevin.
There were some
that
apes on that path.
Wow.
Yeah, but granted, that was the day after Bear Olympics, so
Yeah,
Like,
we were not
we
really.
we weren't really in shape to do much else. Mark, you want to know how it ended, or you want to rewatch it?
Dude,
you
spoilers. Can you mark the spoilers, Nick?
What?
Yeah, Mark
Can you mark the
spoilers.
spoilers?
Oh, spoiler for whatever's going on right now.
So Hulk Hogan's daughter.
God.
Well, okay. So what did you call it? It wasn't an island, but it was a
It's a atoll,
atoll. The atoll sank,
of course.
and they're in waist deep water. But that didn't matter for this 800-foot shark or whatever it was. You still could see it. It was still swimming around fine. Hulk Hogan's daughter got like I don't know, what was she hitting it with? A stick or something?
I don't even know.
Oh my
man.
God.
Okay,
Like
well,
a
actually,
wooden
alright.
plank or something.
Yeah, she cut the middle of her palm, which is a terrible place to cut, so that she could put it in the water and attract the shark. And then she like got in between its heads and like was hitting it, and somehow the shark didn't eat her. And then some other girl like just swam over there and got eaten.
Yeah, what the fuck was she doing?
Oh my
She was
god!
trying to light the wet T-shirt on fire so it would blow up that gas can.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
then-
What movie
why-
is this?
Two-Headed Shark Attack.
So somehow she got it lit while she was underwater being attacked by the shark, and it blew off one of its heads.
Oh my god!
But it was still alive. Don't worry.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
because it's got two, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's got two heads. It wasn't going to die from blood loss, even though the water was just full of blood. Don't worry about that. So the only boat left on the island just happens to be like 20 feet away from them. And
And I
they're
have
like,
to work.
yeah, so like, oh, maybe they'll get away on that. No, plot twist.
Oh.
Daughter jumps in it, turns it on, and then jumps out. So the motor attracts the shark because the shark's so big that it can attack like all What was it? I don't even know.
Magnetic fields.
Yeah, it could detect all of those in the water. So it chased the boat, and then it bit the boat, and the boat blew up. I don't know why, but oh my god!
Wow. That sounds like a really quality film, man.
It's got a 2.5 on IMDb.
Well, that's too high.
That's out of 2.5, right?
Unfortunately, no. What are the critics saying about this? Let's see. Can you view critics score individually? Maybe not.
That is
Is
ridiculous.
it on Rotten Tomatoes? You can do that.
I didn't even hear about this movie either. Is this playing? Oh, this is from what, 2012? Okay,
It's on Sci-Fi.
so it's not
Yeah.
playing off of Shark Attack.
Oh, yeah.
Sharknado. Last
Figured.
year. Oh my goodness. So I mean, yeah, I guess that goes into the other topic of are we paying? How much are we paying for stupid entertainment? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? $10 for a movie like this? Well, this is on television, so I guess it doesn't count. You got to pay for cable.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be talking. I watched all of Barely Legal.
Oh my god. We all did. Not we all,
hell?
but that was fucking brutal.
What are you guys watching
Best
in your
movie.
free time?
Bad movies.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We were pretty bored that day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I wasn't bored. I was watching Barely Legal.
Tom, that one is about 3 girls who have the same birthday, and on their 18th birthday, they want to lose their virginity together.
Ah.
Like,
Sounds
not
like my
like
kinda
with each
flick.
other, like they got to find a boy each, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But really, I mean, well, never mind. Let's not get into it.
Oh dear.
Fine.
Well, anyway, covered a lot of topics today. Got a lot of interesting things. I don't know. I think that's pretty much all I got for today, anyway. Let's go to our random subreddit for the day. Shitty-esque science. It's glorious. Ask Science, if you know, is a popular subreddit where people ask actual intellectual things, and people reply with really good answers. And this is more so just ridiculous comments, and it's really
It's
funny.
ridiculous questions and answers. So.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of jumbling your words today, I left a pretty good message on someone's phone today. I tried to say 2007, like, oh my god, 2007 Chevy Suburban, and it came out like 2007 Cheesy Subaru. And like,
Cheesy.
it said it like 4 times. I was just like, oh my god. I was so embarrassed. I hope I never have to talk to that person again.
They're gonna call
Was
for
that
you
Rod
next
Campbell, or
time.
was that somebody else?
What, Mark?
Is that Rod Campbell, or was that another person?
No, that was another person. I didn't have to talk to Rod Kimball today.
Wait, what? What about Rod Kimball?
Nothing. We have a client whose name is almost Rod Kimball. Almost
Interesting.
Rod Kimball. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now.
Yeah, dude, you are having some trouble.
All right. Well, so everyone, thanks for watching, and thank you all, Band of Bros, for partaking in the second BoBCast. I feel like this one was a little bit more random. I don't think it was really structured really well, but oh well. I think we pulled through it pretty well. Thanks for watching. Again, this will be uploaded on YouTube and probably on some audio streaming service later, which you don't have to worry about because you'd obviously already be listening at this point. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.